Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Today we are on page 153, and we are going to be continuing with our adding, but today's objective is today I will add by using the draw a picture strategy. So today that's going to be our strategy is draw a picture. Okay, so what does this look like, friends? Let's look at our vocabulary. When they say draw a picture, what we're going to be using is base 10 block pictures. So we're going to be drawing our add-ins in a place value chart using, these are called base 10 blocks. So we have our hundreds, our tens, and our ones. Our hundreds are represented by squares. Our 10 rods are represented by a vertical line, and then dots represent our ones. So this is called our draw picture strategy. A couple reminders is add-ins are the numbers that you're adding together. The answer is called the sum, which is down here. It tells us to decompose. Decompose means we're just going to break our number up into the ones, the tens, and the hundreds. This one is the commutative property of addition. It says add-ins can be added in any order and the sum will remain the same. So look what they did here. They said 32 plus 54 has the same value as 54 plus 32. So they just switched the order of the add-ins. Okay, so our steps today are we're going to decompose the add-ins. When we decompose the add-ins, we're going to separate them into the ones, the tens, and the hundreds. That's what we're going to be doing. Then we're going to draw them, draw the ones, tens, and hundreds, and they showed us how down here. So this is how they showed us how to draw them. That the square represents a 100 square, the vertical line represents a 10 rod, and the dot represents a 1 cube. So we're going to decompose, then we're going to draw, and then we're going to add. We're going to add our ones first, our tens, and our hundreds. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to get started on my problem because today I actually have 3 I'm going to be showing you. So here is my first one. And as I'm doing this, you might want to look at your steps and make sure that I'm following my steps. Okay, so my first step says I'm going to decompose the add-ins. So what are my add-ins? My add-ins here are 32 plus 65. So 32 plus 65. Now look what I wrote on top of there. I put an O for ones and a T for tens. So 32 means I have 2 ones, and then the 3 means I have 3 tens. That's one of my add-ins. My other add-in is plus. I have 5 ones and 6 tens in 65. So that's what I'm going to be adding, are those 2 things. Okay, I'm going to use a different color other than just red today because I want you to see the different numbers that I'm going to be adding so you can kind of tell the difference. Okay, so my first add-in is 32, and now that I've decomposed them, I'm going to draw them. So this one says I have 2 ones. So I'm going to come up here in my ones, and I'm going to say I have 1, 2 ones. Plus, I have 3 tens. 1, 2, 3 tens. That's what 32 looks like. Okay, I'm going to add to 32 65. 65 says I have 5 ones. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I have 6 tens. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so now that I've drawn my add-ins, I'm ready to actually add them. So what do I have here? Let's see, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 ones. and that's just 7. But then in the tens, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 tens. But that's not worth 9 because they're 10 each. So I actually have 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90. So I have 9 tens is worth 90. So then my answer, friends, would be 90 plus 7 equals 97. So my sum is 97. Okay, I'm going to do another one of these. Okay, look in this one how many they're having me add. They're having me add 4 add-ins at one time. There's 4 of them. There's 21 plus 13 plus 14 plus 20. So I'm adding 4 add-ins, which seems like a lot, but I'm going to just use my same strategy. So I'm going to rewrite it because they write it so small. I like to write it a little larger. So, and I'm going to put my place values on top. Ones, tens, ones, tens, ones, tens. Okay, so now I'm going to draw these. So what does 21 mean? 21 means I have 1, 1, and I have 2 tens. 1, 2. I'm going to underline these this time, friends, just because I have so many, so you know what color I am doing. When I have 13, that means I have 3 ones. 1, 2, 3, and I have 1 10. Okay, I'm going to keep adding some colors here. When I have 14, that means I have 4 ones. 1, 2, 3, 4, and I have 1 10. Okay, my last add-in says that I have, choosing a new color, sorry friends, I have 20. Whoops, that color looks too close. Let's find another color that looks a little different. 20. I have 0 ones, so I'm not going to draw anything, but I have 2 tens. 1, 2. Okay, so now that I've drawn all my add-ins, now I'm ready to actually add them. So what do I have in the ones? I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 ones. And then in the tens, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, but that's 6 tens. So it's actually better if I count by 10. So I could say 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60. 6 tens is worth 60. So I have 60 plus 8 equals 68. So my sum is 68. Okay, let's do our last one that you're going to watch me, and then we'll do some together. Okay, this time I have only 2 add-ins, but they are in the hundreds place. They're larger add-ins. So they're in the hundreds place. Okay, so I'm going to write it like I did last time. I have 342 plus 245. So I have ones, tens, and this time I also have hundreds. Ones, tens, and hundreds. Okay, so I'm going to draw these. So for my first add-in of 342, it says I have 2 ones. Then I have 4 tens. 1, 2, 3, 4. And I have 3 hundreds. 1, 2, 3. So this is what 342 looks like in base 10 blocks. Now let's draw my second add-in. I have 5 ones. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I have 4 tens. 1, 2, 3, 4. And I have 2 hundreds. 1, 2. Okay, now that I've drawn both my add-ins, let's start to add them. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 ones. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 tens, but 8 tens is not worth 8. It's worth 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80. 8 tens is worth 80. And then I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, but they're hundreds. So it's not worth 5. It's worth 100, 200, 300, 400, 500. Okay, so my sum would be 500 plus 80 plus plus 7 equals 587 is our sum. Okay, so friends, before we do some of these together, you might want to grab a couple different colored pens or markers. We're going to be adding 3 add-ins together. So if you have 3 different things to write with that are different colors, that would be good. You could have your pencil and then maybe 2 other colors. Okay, I'm going to get started on page 154. On page 154, and our first problem says 51 plus 24. 51 plus 24. Okay, so I like to write it again, friends, because it's a little bit easier. And then I like to put the place values on top, and I would like you to do this with me. So the 1 is in the 1's place value, and the 5 is in the 10's place value. The 4 is in the 1's place value, and the 2 is in the 10's place value. That will help me draw them easier if I know that. Okay, so now we're ready to draw with. Have any color that you have ready, and let's draw our first add-in. Mine's 51. Yours is 51 too, but I'm using a blue. So I have 1, 1. So let's draw that. I have 5 tens. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, my second add-in is 24. I have 4 ones, ready? 1, 2, 3, 4. And I have 2 tens. 1, 2. So now we've drawn both of our add-ins and we're ready to add them. So let's count our ones. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 ones. And let's count our tens. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, but they're tens, so they're not worth 7. We might want to do it again counting by tens. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70. Okay, so our answer would be 70 plus 5, which equals 75. Okay, let's try our next one. This time we have 3 add-ins, so this is why I said you might want to have 3 different colors. So we have 3 add-ins. Okay, and we're adding 10 plus 21 plus 15. So let's put our place values on top. 1s, 10s. 1s, 10s, 1s, 10s. Okay, that'll help us draw them correctly. Okay, so our first add-in is 10. I have 0 ones, so nothing goes in the ones. I have 1 10 right there. That's all we have so far. Okay, our next add-in is 21. So I'm going to change colors. This time I have 1 1 and I have 2 10s. 1, 2. Okay, our next add-in is 15. So I have 5 ones, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I have 1 10. Okay, so we have now drawn our 3 add-ins and we're ready to add. So let's start in our ones column. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And in our tens column, we have 1, 2, 3, 4. But remember they're tens, so I'm going to do 10, 20, 30, 40. Okay, so our answer or our sum would be 40 plus 6 equals 46. And that is our sum. Okay, we have one more to do today. Today we actually are doing 3 together. So please turn the page to 155. And we have 553 plus 136. Okay, this one's really important to have your place values on top. Ones, tens, hundreds. We always start here. Ones, tens, hundreds. Okay, again, that's to help us draw them easily. So I'm going to use blue to draw my 553. I have 3 ones. Ready? 1, 2, 3. I have 5 tens. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I have 5 hundreds.